let's get to know Monica. What is my full name? Firstly, hi. My full name is Monica Matlodi Rasiroka. Monica means alone advisor in Greek or Latin, but did you know the name actually has African roots? Yes, Monica is actually a name derived from a Libyan god named Mon. So I thought my parents gave me a Western name, but it's like they knew what they were doing. My other name, Matlodi, is actually a family name where every generation or so on my father's side, there's a woman named Matlodi, and Matlodi is derived from the word Muatludi, meaning judge. So my full name actually means alone advisor judge. So I will judge you. Where am I from? I'm from Pretoria, more specifically Hammanskraal. Hammanskraal is where I grew up, but right now I am based in the heart of Pretoria, the capital city of South Africa. Do I have any siblings? Wow, I'm actually from a very big family. I have 5 siblings. We are 6 children in total, and I'm the youngest. Could you tell? Am I giving off last born energy, last born vibes? And I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, so there's 3 boys, 3 girls in our family. And I always likened the experience of growing up in such a big family to Survivor. A lot of alliances, a lot of backstabbing, but it's all fun, and our home was always full of life. That's something I truly enjoyed, growing up in a big family. If I could move anywhere, where would I move to? Well, I've actually been considering moving to Cape Town. I love Cape Town. I went to Cape Town a few years ago, and I went actually during winter, and it was still so beautiful. So I would love to live in Cape Town. However, the tourist economy, the tourist situation in Cape Town is crazy. Like the pricing of houses there, the cost of living in Cape Town is actually so high, and it's definitely due to just what a tourist attraction it is. Which places would I love to visit? Oh my goodness. Firstly, top of my list is Morocco. Like Morocco is just so beautiful, and it's giving the vibes that I love. So I would definitely love to visit Morocco. Ghana is top of my list as well. Like I am obsessed with Ghana, and I would love to visit the beautiful country of Ghana. And then also Dubai. Like Dubai really speaks to me. It really does. And lastly, I would say Zanzibar. I hope I'm saying her name right. I think it's Kelis. Kelis has been just on this beautiful road trip across Africa, and she just showed her visit in Zanzibar, and I was just like even more jealous, and I'm like, I definitely need to go to Zanzibar. So Zanzibar, Morocco, Dubai, and Ghana are top of my list of countries that I would love to visit. What is my profession? So I studied public relations, and then I'm also a certified digital marketer. And I just completed my YouTube Shorts creator course. So I'm actually officially qualified to also help people with their shorts on YouTube. And because of all of this experience that I have, I'm a content creator now. Like that is my career, like a content creator. On the side, I also do social media consulting, where I help brands with their social media to strategize, plan, create content, all of that. So yes, this space, all me, essentially. Few months ago, I would have actually said no, I don't want to study anything, because guys, I still have to pay off my university fees for my honors degree. It's that hectic. However, when you embark on new experiences, when you take on a new journey and you just try something new, like me leaving my corporate job to pursue entrepreneurship, I do feel like I do lack some information when it comes to business. So I want to study a bit more about entrepreneurship and business, just so that I know what it is that I'm actually doing. Yeah. Now let's talk about favorites. My current favorite song, I would definitely say it's Umi Happy. I think that's how you pronounce the song. And this song is just so beautiful, especially after the traumatic year I had last year, where I lost my father and I quit my job. I was like trying to find myself, and now a year later I'm just the happiest I've ever been. So every time I hear this song, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I have you, Monica, that I have myself. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite song currently. I am really enjoying Love Island. Like, I know it's problematic, but I really love this dating show. And the All Stars version has completely surprised me. Like, I didn't think it would really hit like this, but it's really hitting for me. And I think it's because these people have already been on the show before. So there's like a level of authenticity that you can really feel. And everyone looks good. Everyone's makeup is like actually on point, even their outfits. Like, it's really enjoyable this time around. I'm so surprised that I'm actually enjoying Love Island, and people have so matured, and like you can really tell the difference of like who has grown, who hasn't grown just yet. Like, Love Island is surprising me. I'm also enjoying My Demon. Yes, I love K-dramas. It's just that K-drama episodes are just so long, so it's sometimes so hard for me to like binge watch because an episode is literally like a movie, but I'm not complaining. I love that. I actually love that. I just need to have more time. I don't have enough time, but yeah, currently watching My Demon as well. The last movie I watched, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this movie, The Book of Clarence. Okay, I'm gonna try to not give any spoilers here, but this movie is so great. It has so many lessons. Like, it surprised me so much. Firstly, the cast is amazing. Oh my goodness, I loved everyone in this cast. Secondly, I love the messaging. Like, I'm no longer a Christian. I don't identify as a Christian, but there were so many nuggets and just valuable knowledge to be gained and learned from this movie. I loved how they portrayed Jesus, firstly. Secondly, it was just so great to see biblical stories play out like this. Like, it felt so real. There's a scene in the movie where Mary, the role Tiana Taylor plays, and she gets attacked by a mob, and Jesus comes to save her essentially, and they were like throwing stones at her. And just to see that play out the way it did, and Jesus saying, "Who are you to cast stones?" Like, for me, it was like, even though we've known about this story, it was just another thing to see it play out in the movie, because Christians are people who honestly need church the most, in my opinion, because sometimes people take the knowledge that they gain from church not to change their lives or improve themselves or work on themselves, but they take that knowledge to judge other people. So in that scene, for me, it was such a big life lesson of, you need to mind your own business, number one. Secondly, stop judging people for things that you also do, because in the crowd of people throwing stones was literally Jezebel, because Jezebel was judging Tiana Taylor's character for sleeping with someone else, and Jesus was like, "But you're Jezebel. You are Jezebel." And for me, that was like a valuable lesson, that some of us are Jezebels and we're going around judging other people, yet our own lives are not it. They are really not it. And then lastly, the movie just really talked about, or just played out, the importance of believing in yourself and allowing yourself the room to grow, to be immature, make your mistakes and learn from those mistakes and actually grow and become a better person. And even as people around someone who might be changing or going through a period of transition, we also need to allow that person to actually grow and change, and not for us to really judge them or have certain perceptions over the change that we're seeing in them. Like, it was just such an excellent movie, and it was made by the person who made, I forgot the name of this cowboy movie, but I know Jay-Z was also a producer in it, and all of the issues that people had with this movie, they completely rectified them in this movie, The Book of Clarence, and a masterpiece. I loved it. Now, you guys heard me say I am not I am not a Christian anymore, or I don't identify as a Christian. Am I religious though? Well, I wouldn't really consider myself religious. I would say I'm more spiritual, because after my experience in a high control religion, yes, I was in a cult, the Jehovah's Witnesses. It was just such a traumatic experience. I don't think I could ever go back to organized religion. I don't even want to attempt. I don't even care to do that. But I do have respect for religion and people's spiritualities, and whatever journey an individual might want to take, I always show respect to that, and you know, allow people to have free will. Like when I was in this cult or in this organization called the Jehovah's Witnesses, we really didn't have much free will. Like our governing body members at the time, because they're no longer my governing bodies. They're no longer my governing body members. Yes, they really controlled how members live their lives. So it did feel like I didn't have a lot of free will. So no, I'm not religious. Similarly to me, most of the people who are part of my community also share the same experience of being ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and I did actually ask them to ask me a few questions that I will answer in this Q&A. So let's hear them out. I think if you don't know much about the Jehovah's Witnesses, then this is a great opportunity for you to hear like what concerns people actually have after leaving this religion or this cult. So this first question is from Christine, and she wants to know, are there any therapists that specialize with cults, and are there any like emergency services for people that do leave this religion in a very like traumatic way? And for those that don't understand, that the Jehovah's Witnesses do not have an exit plan, meaning that if you're in the religion, you can't leave. So if you want to leave, you essentially have to forsake the relationship that you have with your family. They will shun you along with your friends and of course church members. So it can be very traumatic and catastrophic when you leave. Sometimes they even kick out like teenagers from home if they made a mistake, or someone can accept a blood transfusion to save their lives, and to save their life, and because of that they will get shunned. And there's so many other ways where people can just have like a very traumatic experience in leaving this organization. So according to my knowledge, there are a few cult therapists, so therapists that do specialize with cults, and they definitely understand the experience. They will not give you some fluffy advice or, you know, just be positive. None of that. I remember even for me last year, I saw a psychologist when I had to quit my job, and I had actually experienced a mental breakdown, and my therapist or psychologist was not even part of this community. Like they didn't know about the Jehovah's Witnesses like us, as in like someone who's experienced it, but they do have the knowledge, because when I spoke to them, they quickly realized that, hey, this is also another thing that traumatized you. And at that time I didn't even realize it for some reason. Well, I did, but it wasn't registering that even years later it was still affecting me. So I do know that there are cult specialists, but even a normal therapist could help you. But if you can't access like a cult specialist right now, or you feel like a normal therapist is just not good enough, there is someone who's also a qualified cult deprogrammer. Wow, that word. A cult deprogrammer, Alan Ross. A few years ago I actually made a video about him. His interviews, amazing. He really talks in detail about cults and what happens. So I would definitely advise you to check out some of his videos, and then maybe going forward do look up a cult specialist. They are there, they definitely do exist. And in terms of an emergency, you know, service that can help people leaving, I honestly don't know of any, and I've really been thinking about it. That it's great and all to make these videos and talk about our experiences as Jehovah's Witnesses, but is there not a way where we can tangibly help each other, like tangibly help people that do need the help? So I don't know, do you guys have any ideas of what we can possibly do? Because I just think of so many people who want to leave, but financially it's not possible, and they're dependent on their parents or their family, and they are like literally trapped in a cult. So yeah, those are thoughts that really go through my head. So Just Jude wants to know, do I think we're going to see more changes in the Jehovah's Witness organization since they've changed the rules on beards? For those that don't know, this religion did not allow its members to grow beards like the men ever, and now all of a sudden they changed that rule because the numbers are going down. People are actually leaving the organization, so they're trying by all means to save themselves. Do I think that we will see more rule changes? Definitely. I actually have a theory for two. I think we're going to see a policy being implemented on how they deal with CSA cases, because they don't have anything right now. It's just them basically capturing the story and talking to the branch office, which is actually in itself a form of abuse towards the members who have to relay the stories of what happened to them And also remember, there needs to be two witnesses to account to this act. Like, that is actually what they believe. So when a victim comes forward and says that I have been SA'd, well, it's you and the perpetrator, and your word against theirs. So I do think that they will have to change that policy, because it's really getting them into trouble around the world. Cases are springing up left, right, and center, and they are bleeding money. So I do think that they will definitely change that policy and transform it. And then secondly, I think they will have to transform as well and change their shunning policy situation, whatever you want to call it, the disfellowshipping of members who want to leave or who have done an egregious sin. I see that process also changing. I see them maybe not shunning the way they shun. Maybe they'll say like, okay, no, you can't talk to them, but you can't hang around with them, or whatever the case may be. I do see them having to change a few rules, because the way things are going, they will not be in business in the next 15 years, according to my suspicions, my my qualified guesses. Alrighty, and the last question is from Dan. He wants to know, how long does it take to heal from all of this? Seeking therapy, and also how do you find a meaningful relationship after your social circle has been broken? Similarly to the first point that I made, is that if you are seeking therapy, just go to any therapist at first. Like, therapy is like dating. It's quite scary at first because you don't know this person. You honestly just have to go and give it a try. My advice is always go for someone who kind of has the same experience as you. So if you're a white male, for example, maybe see another white male who might have the same life experience as you. If you are a woman of color, look for another woman of color, so that they can also validate your experience. Like, sometimes it's not that therapy is not working, it might just be you're talking to the wrong therapist. But back to the first question, how long does it take to heal from this? Honestly, there is no time period. It's been 7 years since I left, and I do feel like there are times where I am still healing from that experience, because to think about it, we are essentially deprogramming ourselves from a cult, and I was born into it. So I would say I'm at least deprogramming 20 years of programming that I experienced in this cult. So a few months won't be enough, a year or two won't be enough, but things are also different for different people. But I can't put a number to it. But I will say, give yourself time, allow yourself to heal, and remember that things that come quickly can also leave quickly. So seeking healing quickly, seeking healing quickly might not necessarily be the answer, because you can't speed up the healing process if you want to completely heal yourself. So give yourself time. I know it's very difficult, but most of the time, the first few months are the hardest, and the first few weeks and the first few days, those are the most hard, because you are fighting a lot of, internalized, subconscious thoughts, beliefs. So you have to really have an internal battle with yourself, and also reconcile with so many things that have happened with you. So again, I would say give yourself time. And in terms of mending broken relationships, I wouldn't even say those relationships were meaningful, because you did use the word meaningful, because most of our friendships and the relationships we had in the Jehovah's Witness organization were very conditional. I mean, look who's around you right now. Most of those people are not there. Why would they turn their backs on you? Someone who's just choosing to live a different life, someone who's just choosing to follow their authenticity and just love themselves, care about themselves, and do what matters to them. So someone who sees that and is like, no, I don't want to associate with you, I don't think it was a meaningful relationship. But to mend those circles, honestly, you just have to put yourself out there. It's so difficult to make friends as an adult. So my advice to someone who wants to rebuild those broken friend groups or relationships that you've had is find one of these three things. Find purpose, find a passion, or find a hobby. Immerse yourself into one of these. Along the journey, you will meet your tribe. For example, if you decide to start hiking, you're gonna have to meet other hikers. You're gonna meet other hikers along the way. So start hiking. If you want to start pottery, go to a pottery class. You're going to meet other people who are also doing pottery or learning how to potter. Is that what you say? Or people who, you know, want to learn this new skill. You're going to meet them there. If you're single, for example, put yourself out there. Go on speed dating. Go to a restaurant alone, ladies. Sit there alone, read a book, enjoy your own company. You will meet people. Like, just put yourself out there and listen to your intuition. Really learn to listen to your intuition and trust it, because when you do that, you're able to discern who's there for good reasons and who's there for bad reasons. I hope this was super helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about myself. I will see you all in the next one.